Alright, so this is going to be a tutorial for Alice Madness Returns Any Percent. This is the new game category, so it's just started from a completely fresh save file. Just as a note, if the first file on the list here has any play, like has anything unlocked at all, be very careful not to go to the equip screen in the menu, which is this screen. If you have anything unlocked on your first file, it will take that information and put it into the new game. So you will like give yourself higher levels of weapons, unlock things early, things like that. Totally not allowed. Don't do that. So, for a new game, you're going to run on easy difficulty. Everything else is however you feel like it. Timing starts on the first load screen, so right there. And right from the start, just kind of mash the cutscene skip. And then right after the cutscene, you're going to hold straight forward. And if you do it a little early, that happens, and you run into a wall. If you time it right, then you'll run straight into the door. And now for the London sections, there's not really a whole lot to do to make it any faster. Just kind of try to keep moving, cut the corners as tight as possible, be careful not to run into anything. Be careful about some hitboxes, they're a little bigger than they look. So just give a little bit of a berth to everything until you know exactly where the hitbox is. There's cutscenes here to skip, so you can just mash through that. Yeah, not a ton to say here. Just try and go fast. Pretty basic. Know where you're going and hold that direction.
Seems following furry creatures into dark holes has become a habit. I hope it's not a
Right, so there's a cutscene coming up here. I start mashing about where that indent in the wall is, and then hold straight left in this load screen. And keep mashing the cutscene skip through the load screen and all the way up to the pigeons. And through this load screen. And now you're just going to run up the hill. Now, because this is new game, you won't have any abilities, no dashing, no knife, nothing like that. So it's pretty basic. Don't go around here. That's pretty slow. You don't have to do that. Just one jump and then a twirl. Same for these. Just one jump and a twirl will get you across. And now here, go down to this lower area, and then jump around here. Now you want to keep your twirls kind of slow with some time between them. So don't just like mash A like that. You're not going to gain any height. You're not going to maintain your distance. It's generally fairly slow. There's very, very few times where you want to just hit A twice quickly. For the most part, you want there to be some time between it. And the reason behind that is that you get a little bit of extra height when you do it. I didn't talk too much about what I did there, but it's basically just play the game as intended, go and get the shrink, and then come back around and shrink through the things in here. Like it's not really tricks here. First trick is coming. The first like actual trick is coming up pretty soon though. Alright. So on these slides, for the most part you can't jump on them. Like pressing A does nothing. But if you're on the very, very edge of the slide, the game will let you jump. So what I'm going to do is at after I get a certain distance on the slide, I'm going to just jump off the slide and skip going around in a circle. It saves a few seconds. But here's what it looks like. Get onto this wall here and then jump around and land here. And then again, you want to jump off the edge of the slide so that you can keep the slide speed. And be careful not to float there, because once you float, you lose all your forward momentum, and then you lose a ton of speed. So now that you have the Vorpal Blade, you also have dash. So immediately start dashing over to here. And anytime you end of chain of dashes, you want to shrink. And the reason for that is after you dash, there's a short period of time where Alice won't accept any directional input. Like you see, there's a little bit of time after the dash before I start turning. But if you shrink, Alice can change directions immediately. On top of that, even going in the same direction takes a second, but if you shrink, you can just keep going. So anytime you're going to stop a chain of dashes or you're going to change directions, you want to shrink between your dashes. So come up here, shrink. Kind of slower on the hits there so you don't have to like swing all out of them because you'll miss and it's bad. And then just keep dashing forward into this fight. And then pretty basic, just kill them quickly. One thing you can do is after your third hit, like the third hit in your combo, you can dash afterwards, and then it kind of reduces the lag time before you can hit them again. And then here, right in front of me, there's a trigger for a cutscene. Let's see if I can see it. Yeah, that green box, that's a trigger for a cutscene, and it's also a trigger for a tutorial. So, what we can do is we can jump and then dash into it, and that'll maintain your speed through the cutscene. So if you skip the cutscene, another thing to mention, if you go into a cutscene and then while you're in the air and skip it, it will give you all of your jumps back. So you'll be able to jump and then also twirl 3 times afterwards. So we're going to abuse that here. And then just skip the tutorial whenever. Like normally I wouldn't be able to jump after a dash in the air. You can't jump. But because I went through the cutscene, it lets me just keep on using my jumps. And now, once you get to here, it's going to be 3 slow twirls. Like, really slow. Do not try and rush these, otherwise you're going to do this, and then you're not going to get any height, and then you're going to die. And that's a bad time. So, 3 slow swirls, and then dash, and that'll get you around this wall. Be kind of careful about it. The hitbox extends out a little bit. You can see it there, the whitish lines. So just make sure you don't hit the hitbox there. 2, 3, dash, and that'll land you over here. Skips that area. Pretty minor skip, but also very easy. And the way you're going to want to get off of cliffs is by dashing into, for the most part, is by dashing into them and then shrinking on the cliff, because that'll let you dash off again. Like that. Because otherwise, I don't think I can get back up there. Yeah, I can. Okay. Otherwise, you kind of get stuck on the edge of the cliff if you just keep dashing into it. And it takes a second if you want to dash and then stop to dash and walk into it. So by shrinking, it just lets you fall right off the cliff. So, I mean, if here's a cutscene, I'm just going to go straight into the cutscene, and then after the cutscene, I'm going to hold directly to the right, and I'm going to dash one time, and then that'll put me in range to pick up the pepper grinder. Like that. Jump around here, and then again, I'm going to do a jump dash into this cutscene. Get up to the Bolterfly hives, and it's a lot faster to kill them with the Vorpal Blade than it is to kill them with the Pepper Grinder. Be careful on this one. If you walk too close to it, it'll take a lot longer to spawn. And then just kill all the Bolterfly hives. And around this corner, I'm gonna jump dash. So it's pretty simple. You jump and then you dash. And then here, while you're shooting the snout, make sure you're walking forward all the time to avoid getting hit by the Bolterflies. And then after you skip the snout cutscene, just another jump dash will get you off of that cliff. And then you will be able to see Alice jump dash into the cutscene and break the Duchess's basket. Alright, so there's two routes here. The easier route is going to be the intended route. You shoot the snout. There's a fight. I think there's Bolterfly hive here, and down there somewhere. And then there's also two Insidious runes over on that cliff. It's a pretty basic fight. I'm actually not going to show it because there's not a ton to it. Actually, yeah, I'll just show it. That's fine. So, I'm gonna shoot that snout. Hit this Bolterfly hive right away. And now you want to try and end the fight over on this part. If a Bolterfly grabs you, don't panic, just shrink. And these guys aren't walking over. So that's kind of annoying. I was hoping to end the fight over on that platform. Because it's a little faster to shoot the snout from here. Alright, so once you do that fight, it's pretty simple. Jump here. If you're worried about that cycle, there's two options. Either you can make that jump across, or you can just wait for the cycle. It doesn't really matter which. But the faster option is to skip that fight. And the way you do that is, instead of jumping over there, as soon as you get over to that cliff, you're just going to drop down here immediately, dash over to here, and what's happening here is I'm going to do 3 high twirls, which is like a long time between them, to make sure it keeps the height, and then what's called a glitched extra jump. So the way a glitched extra jump works is after the third twirl, you want to go hold A until you get into the float, and then as soon as you get into the float, let go of A and repress it as fast as possible. You can be in the float for a little bit. You can, as long as you hit that float, it doesn't matter how long you wait after that. It's generally faster to do it right away, but there are a couple occasions where waiting on the float is going to help. And then I'm going to do that right into the death plane for the next area, which is that green box. that I'm looking at. So it'll be three high twirls, a glitched extra jump, and a dash right into that death plane. They'll go away. God dang it. Alright, I can't do anything about that. That's just going to be there. So, it'll look something like this. And that gets you right up here. It's basically all it skips is that fight. But right in front of me, there's this cutscene trigger. That's the blue box. So again, I'm going to be doing a jump dash into the cutscene to try and store some momentum. And ahead of me here, this green box in front of me is a trigger for a slow walk and a cutscene that changes that area ahead of me to spawn the oil valve, or the oil, like, spewing things. I don't know what to call them. Pipes, that's what they're called. Yeah, that one. But it's kind of slow to hit because you walk really slow when you're going through that area. In general, it's best to avoid it. So the way you're going to do that, the easiest setup is right here in this little indentation. You're going to jump. Because I'm on a controller, I don't have super great control over the camera while I'm jumping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do jump back, one twirl back, one twirl to the right, one twirl forward, and then a dash. And that'll get me around this trigger. Like that. If you're really worried about that, you can add a glitched extra to it to make it a little safer. Obviously you need to be fairly confident in your glitched extra jumps to do that, but it's not too difficult. So that's, and it saves about 10 seconds, I would say. But now you kind of have to deal with this still being there. Most of that ground is not solid, so be very careful about that. But be careful to follow the path that I'm following. So 3 twirls and a dash out to here. When you're hitting springs, a lot of the times you want to try and hit the top of the spring. And the reason for that is it gives you a little extra height. Like if you jump on the spring, you get a little bit more height than if you just walk on the spring. Keep in mind that after a spring, you will only have 2 twirls though. So be careful about that. But anyways, jump on this spring and kind of float and hold it as long as you can. And then just a quick jump. Or twirl to get onto here. Jump onto that spring, 2 twirls and a dash to get here. Be careful with your camera around here because it's going to freak out. So I tend to try and turn it to the right. And now, up here there's another one of those cutscenes that starts the slow walk. Range, you actually can't see it with the collisions. But the way to deal with that is going to be to do a jump, and then 2 fast twirls. And then you're going to walk off of the edge and twirl forward onto the next platform. Like this. And then dash. And it's still kind of bugged, but that's fine. So next is the train fight. I guess just dash into this fight. The first thing you want to deal with is the Boulderfly Hive, and then from then on, it's a pretty straightforward fight. Deal with the Boulderflies when you have time. game. It wasn't taking inputs from my X button for a little bit. Don't know why. Deal with this guy. Try and end the fight closer to the train, if possible. And then you've got the Hollow Eves thing. Just skip that as fast as possible. And then from here, 3 twirls and a dash. And then 2 twirls and a dash. Kind of really slow on that second one. You want to get lower. And then be careful here. There's some weird invisible walls around this thing. So, like, just try and kind of stay on the left side of the tracks and you'll be fine. Skip that cutscene, and then if that cutscene spawns you in a place where you can't just dash forward, you either need to walk around to the left or you need to shrink because there's an invisible wall right in front of you. So I usually walk around to the left and then go ahead and dash. Alright, so coming up here there's a skip. It's, I would say, the easiest skip in the game, and I would recommend everyone does it because it saves a lot of time. It skips the entire fight against the Madcaps. Sorry, just getting something to drink real quick. But basically all you do is you stand against the wall, you shrink, and then you unshrink. And then that's it. So, edge jump off there. And then against this wall. Against this wall where these plants are, you're gonna go right up against it, shrink, go hold towards the wall, and then unshrink. And it'll kill you and then spawn you at a later point. So, like that. And then just mash B to get through that training thing. And then you can just follow the teeth here basically. And you're gonna go straight over to the cable car. So that skip saves probably over a minute because it skips that entire fight against the Madcaps, which is a very annoying fight because of the guys with shields. Super easy, definitely worth doing. So now you've got a long and skippable cutscene. It's annoying, but you have to deal with it. There's nothing we can do about this cutscene.
The Hatter's domain, almost as I remember it.
Appearances, as you know better than most, can be deceiving. Much has changed since your last visit.
Dr. Bumby says change is constructive, that different is good.
Different denotes neither bad nor good, but it certainly means not the same. Find the Hatter, Alice. He knows more about different than you.
But does he know more about the difference between bad and good?
Making friends, Alice. You're as randomly lethal and entirely confused as you ever were.
I've managed without you so far, Cat. Return to whatever hovels home to you. I'll call if I need you.
Predictably rare. It's not a question of if, Alice. It's when. Now hold on, and as they say, shut up.
So typical.
Alright, so I've got the introduction events, pretty simple. Just keep doing normal movement. Mash to skip the animation of the events coming up. Alright, so that's a weird cycle. Here, there's a skip here, based on the cycle. It's kind of difficult. You have to be pretty decent at maintaining your height on the twirls, and also at glitch jumps. So I'm going to show it, but then I'm also going to show a different route here that is much easier and not too much slower. So I kind of have to wait for the cycle. You want that cogwheel to be about halfway back, and then it's just 3 high jumps and a twirl. Pretty simple. Well, 3 high jumps, a glitch jump, and a twirl, I should say. Because the glitch jump is definitely required. Alright, so now, the easier way to do this is just to go in here, pull the lever, wait for that, and then go around normally. It's not too much slower, so if you feel really uncomfortable with the jumps, then I would definitely recommend doing that. But if you feel alright about the jumps, then just do the skip. It's not too bad. So here is another place where I would highly recommend doing a skip. But there are multiple versions of this skip. So I'm going to show the hardest version first, and then I'll go back and show some of the easier ways to do it. So the hardest version is you're going to jump off of that crate and then jump over onto this door. From here, be careful about your height jumps. You definitely need a decent amount of height to land onto this. And then 2 good height twirls to land here. From here, you turn sideways. Just need a very small amount of height, more than the jump, to get up to here. And you're going to want to land above those teapots over there, where Alice's head is. So 3 good height jumps gets you here. And now, 3 more good height jumps is going to land me basically on top of the wall where that gold thing is. Let me see. Yeah, there you can see it. That wall over here. Wait, that doesn't look right. That looks too high. Is that right? No, that's right, yeah. I'm just being dumb. That'll land you over here. From here, just hold your twirls all the way out, like hold the floats all the way out until you land over here. And there will be a death plane right there. And then that'll take you a little bit further on. I'll tell you exactly where once I show the different route. Alright. So, whoops. Alright, so now that you're over here, you're just gonna jump over here. Go over to this Hatter thing. And then you can jump on top of it. And from there, you can jump over that wall. And then that skips that entire area. And now that you're here, you can just keep going forward. Okay. And here is exactly where that other harder version of the skips you to. Another benefit of that skip is that in general, it breaks the iPods in a way where that one will not fight back. However, it also makes the iPods up here invisible. They won't fight back, but you won't be able to see them, so you'll have to hit them blind, basically. Ow. Alright. Alright, so you kill these enemies. This door will open. So there is a skip here. From this box. With very, very good height jumps, it is possible to jump straight from here all the way up to there. In general, I would say it is worth trying for once. And then, if you miss it once, just hit the button. Like, it is not easy because you have to be very, very aggressive with your jumps in order to maintain enough height. So in general, I would suggest just trying for it once and then go ahead, hit the button. As soon as the platform gets to the bottom, you can go. And here's another skip. Also another super, super easy skip. Always worth doing. What you're going to do is you're going to jump onto the top of that door frame. And the way you do that is you do 2 slow twirls and 1 fast. And that'll get you enough height to get over to here. And from there you can jump over to here. And all you gotta do is hit the lever. Alright. There's another skip here. It's fairly precise. Not super difficult, but precise. So, what I would recommend, try for it once, maybe twice. If it doesn't work, just go the intended way, drop the clockwork bomb, and blow up the doors. So, what I do is I look just barely right of center on this wall, hold straight forward, and then jump. And basically what you're hoping for is that what happened was Alice kind of got stuck on the wall and was able to jump off of it. And that lets me jump straight up here. Like I said, very precise, not actually super difficult. But yeah, if you have troubles with that, if you're failing it quite a few times in a row, go ahead, just use the clockwork bombs to blow up the walls, and then do that. It only loses about 4 to 5 seconds. break the 2 boxes, and you're able to move on. And just go ahead and mash your cutscene skip button before and after the load. So now, this is called Hysteria Jump. You're normally supposed to kill all the enemies in this room, and that'll spawn a platform you can jump on to get across. With 3 good jumps, like 3 very good high jumps, and a glitch jump, you're able to make it across without killing anything. Just make sure you wait for that tutorial message to pop up. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult. So now you're here. Just go ahead and go straight into the shatter cutscene. Throw your thing on to there. Try and get out of there during the cutscene, if you can. But if you can't, that's not a huge deal. So now here is a skip. I'm actually going to show it a couple times. I'm going to show it before getting the umbrella, just because it's a little easier to show off. But in your runs, you're going to get the umbrella first. So all it is you're going to go over to this corner, jump, and either 3 high twirls, or if you screw up one of your high twirls, you can do a flat twirl and a glitch jump. Like if you screw up one of your high twirls, but you get the other one, you can do a glitch jump to recover it. Like that. Just barely, but you can. So you're going to want to get when you're doing the runs, you're going to want to get the umbrella and kind of hang out over here until after the cutscene. The reason I wait till after the cutscene is because you want to hold forward the entire time when you're jumping. And if you're on controller, it's really hard to hold forward and also skip the cutscene. If you're on keyboard and mouse, it's actually a little bit easier to go before the cutscene, because you can hold W and also mash the cutscene skip button and jump. And that lets you get a few extra jumps because you skipped a cutscene. And it'll reset your jump count. And then if you just go right away, this text will be stuck on your screen. It's pretty easy to get rid of. All you have to do is use the umbrella, and the text will go off of your screen. Otherwise, if you don't, it'll stay on your screen for the entire rest of the chapter. So now it's time for the hair area. Be careful here, there's a little bit of lag. If you boost into lag, a lot of times you can get a lot more speed than you intend to. And in this area, a lot of times that means you overshoot the platform and you die. So the easier route, and what I would recommend doing for almost everyone, is you just shoot the little thing. It loses about 3 seconds versus the fast route. Maybe a little bit more, but 3 to 4 would be my guess. And it's very easy. The faster route is pretty difficult. It takes 3 very good jumps, a glitch jump, and a well-timed dash. So, here's what the faster route looks like, if I can get it. Nope, that was... I might screw this up a couple times, because you have to be pretty aggressive on the jumps to have enough height to make it. There we go. That's what that's going to look like if you decide to do the fast strat. Be very careful if you do. It is very difficult. If you do it the easier way, pretty simple. Just shoot that, run over. All it takes is 3 pretty slow jumps, and then dash, and you'll make it over just fine. So, there's a couple routes here. Again, I'm going to show the fastest route, and then I'll go back and show some of the easier ones. Because the fastest route is actually fairly hard. What I am going to do, however, is because these enemies are annoying, I'm actually going to go ahead and despawn them before I try and show anything off. Alright, there we go. No more enemies. So the fastest route requires 3 nearly perfect high twirls off of this box and a glitch jump to get on top of this little container thing. Nope. Bad third jump. So now I'm on top of this. Drop down here. And there's an invisible wall over there to land on. You can see it, it's here. From this invisible wall, you want to land over there on that like little surface that looks like lava. Pretty easy. And you see that area that's despawning when I look too far away from it? That little chimney looking thing on the right, like or I guess it's the top left of my screen. I'm going to be trying to land on that. It's a fairly tight jump, and I might screw it up. If I do, I'll have to just quick go to restart. Nope, got it, first try. So it's not too terrible. As long as you have decent height on your jumps, you should make it. But it is not super easy. And now, you can go on either the left or right side. If you go on the left, be careful here. There's this hole in the middle. You don't want to fall in. You're going to go over to here. Now, that entire box, this whole thing, that is an invisible wall. You want to go underneath it and hit the death plane that's to the next area over there. To do that, it's just like that. But I'm going to restart now, because if I go any further, it's going to spawn me in the next area and I won't be able to show any other routes. Oh, also be careful here, because there's something that you get stuck on if you just try and dash forward. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but if you just walk forward, you'll be fine. So again, take the easier route. And now I'm going to show one of the older routes, and it's much simpler than that. Well, it's actually a little... No, I'd say it's simpler. It's a little closer to the intended route, so it's not too difficult. So, again, you're going to spawn some enemies here. You just ignore them, go straight past them, and hit this lever. And then from there, just go ahead and hit the lava to death warp back up to the top. Because otherwise you have to wait for cycles and it's slow and boring. And again, ignore the enemies, they don't matter. And again, for this area, there is actually one enemy that matters, but it's only the one up top. So you can just avoid all of those guys. and then kill just this guy. Alright, that was unfortunate. Not a huge deal though. Go ahead and turn this valve. It'll take a second for them to despawn all the enemies and then do that. And now you can just move on. Oh, by the way, on the other faster skip, if you miss the chimney, you'll fall down and die. And if you do, it'll spawn you right here. So you don't have to necessarily restart and start over. You'll spawn right here. And now, this room is not too complicated. You can shoot this this thing, target, I guess, from down there, and then jump straight to that vent, and then again jump straight to that vent, and then from here, normally you'd have to go around. Instead, you're able to kind of get some good height jumps and jump straight up onto this. Toss down your clockwork bomb, and then move on. And this is where the good skip takes you. This checkpoint right here. So, at this point the routes have met up and are exactly the same from here this point on. And then just, you can ignore that cogwheel thing, it doesn't matter. You just jump on the fence, and then 3 pretty slow twirls, you can get straight to the vent. And again, be careful with that boost because there's some lag there. If you get some lag, you can dash too far and then die, and it's a bad time. Alright, so now this guy. I guess there are 2 routes you can go for this guy. I don't really know where it saves. So I'll show up to where the routes meet up. I'll show the harder one first again. So for this, you want to kind of twirl into the door frame until you get up on top. And then it's going to be 3 decent twirls. They don't have to be great. As long as you don't get flat twirls, you should be fine. A glitch jump and a dash. Get over onto that wall. There, I got a flat twirl, so I missed it. Not a huge deal, though. Be careful about this wall. It's actually pretty easy to get stuck on it. And if you do, the only way to get out is to restart from a save, or restart from the last checkpoint, like from here. And that loses a lot of time because it doesn't put you in this room. It puts you earlier. Yeah, easy enough there. Be careful not to stand on the edge too long because you can fall off if you just stand there. And now, in here, press that thing. Simple enough. Now I'll show kind of a little bit easier route. So yeah, this is where it spawns you if you restart from a save. There. So it loses a lot of time if you get stuck into the wall. Also, generally, I probably should have mentioned this a lot earlier, For your jump dashes, you basically want to jump immediately after the twirl. Like, if you wait too long, your dash will start going down instead of forward. So now, the route for the easier method in this room is pretty close to the intended route. Gotta kind of wait here. Get that. You can just tank the damage there, it's not a huge deal. And then just kind of ignore these guys because they don't matter. They'll despawn once you hit that switch. And then from here... Ooh, I got... There it is. Now it's updating the cycles. You can either jump up to there. That's going to be the faster way to do it. But it's also a little bit difficult. If you're having trouble with that, what you can do is a little closer to the intended strat. The fastest way to get back to the beginning is just to go ahead and jump into the death plane. That'll take you back to here. Jump up to... Well, I guess this isn't really the intended strat, but jump up to here. Oh, I forgot about that invincible. Ignore me being dumb. That's not the route. Pretty sure this is it. Yeah. From here, it's a little bit easier to get to that platform. It does take a glitch jump, but like, as long as you're pretty slow with your jumps, you'll make it. If you try and go super fast with the jumps, like just press A really quickly, there's no chance. So yeah, jump there with the glitch jump, and then right across to here. And now you have two out. I would just ignore those guys. Instead, 3 jumps and dash gets you right across to here. And from there, the routes go ahead and, you know, combine and meet up with each other. Turn the valve and then go to the end of the area. After you pull this lever, be careful about going back because there is an invisible wall. So make sure you get to the top of that vent before you start going across.
Mobility will make a nice change. Expect no thanks until I'm completely reconstructed. No resting on laurels, chiffonnier. Chaise lounges.
Alright, now it's over to the hairs area. I don't know. I guess I'll have to just restart from checkpoint to show off the multiple routes here. You can just make that with 3 decent jumps. You don't need to do anything. Do this thing to open the door. Alright, so the first thing is we're never going over to past those 2 fists. 3 jumps and either a glitch jump, or sometimes you can jump against the wheel and get a wall jump. We'll get you there. So now there are a few routes for this area. I'll just show the easiest route first. So the easiest route is pretty close to the intended route. We're gonna go ahead and just hit both of the buttons. You'll skip some of the stuff, skip some of the waiting, jump around to the right to avoid that thing. So now here you want to wait a second before throwing the thing down, because the cogwheels can't go up until they get all the way to the bottom. So now they're there, and you can just go across. Alright. So now I'll show the second easiest route. Like there, I got a wall jump off of the cogwheel. So what you want to do is kind of jump onto this thing. And then you can jump up to here. And you technically can make it around there. I would recommend not doing it. It's pretty difficult, and if you miss it, then you start back at the bottom. So instead, you can just go over here and then do the same thing. From here, you just bring them up to the top, and then that's it. Now, here's the fastest strat. From that jump, you're gonna go over to here. Oh crap, I forgot there's something I need to show before I show the fast strat. So give me a little bit. I'm trying to think of where the checkpoint is. I may have to go to chapter select after this to show off the fastest strat, depending on checkpointing. If I do, it happens. I'll take care of it after I finish everything else. I'm hoping that there isn't something that checkpoints my progress in this area, but there is actually something that I have to show. Dang it. Can I go backwards? Probably not. So just ignore that teapot. He'll get killed by those hands in just a little bit. Wow, he actually managed to get past the hands. That's impressive. That's really rare. Nice job, teapot. You did it. Alright, so just drop your bomb here. And that's where you get. Let me just try one thing. Hope this works. Okay. So I was able to get in here. That's good. So, looks like I'll be able to show the fastest strat, sort of. I wonder if it'll load the fight right. If it doesn't, I'll have to restart again, but that's fine. So the fastest strat starts from right here. What you're going to want to do, 3 jumps and a dash into this corner. Make sure Alice is facing the wall, and then shrink into the corner. Unshrink, 2 jumps and hold up left, and that'll get you up here. From here, if you do that strat, yeah, it screws up this fight. The teapots don't actually spawn. Like, on the other one, they just turned invisible. I'm pretty sure they're not actually here in this one. Yep, no teapot. So, it's actually not possible to complete this fight, to open the door. So what you're going to do instead is you're going to climb up this wall. So the angle here is kind of precise. The way I line it up is there's the lines on the wall, this second line here, where there's kind of the crooked, crack-looking thing. That's where I put Alice's head. And then just kind of try and jump up. All I'm doing is holding forward and pressing A. Oh, that was bad. I fell off the wall. Okay, maybe I was looking a little too far to the left there. Whoops. Move my left stick a little bit. Alright, so that gets you over to here. And then you can jump around to here. Move on. Let me go ahead and go back, and then I'll spawn the enemies normally, and then that should work. And there we go. Teapot got killed by the hands. That's what normally happens. And there you didn't see it, but I dropped my clockwork bomb, like, in the cutscene. And there we go. Teapot spawned normally. And now he's just going to do this fight as normal. You probably actually have enough teeth to upgrade your Vorpal Blade at this point, so if you are doing the fight normally, go ahead and do that. We'll make it a little bit faster. Ah. And then you can just shoot this, and that's where the routes line up. In this area, I guess I'll show the hard route first and then the easy route, because I don't think it's possible to go the other way around. That's the hard route. Three jumps while that's at the top, and then a glitch jump to get over to here. 3 jumps around there. Be careful there. There is an invisible wall there. If you hit it, you'll fall. And then 3 twirls and a dash to get over to here. Now the easy route, I guess I can just die anywhere and that should take me back to the start. Is going to be pretty close to the intended route. Just go ahead and shoot that to lower these things. And then you're going to take this vent. And with 3 decent jumps, you can get up to here. And then from here, what you can do is jump over into that cage that has the memory in it, and then jump from there to the end. So that'll look like this. You can do it without a glitch jump. I'll show that too. Pretty easy. And then you can go ahead and just jump right over to here. And coming up here, another place where there's a couple routes. This is called hair skip. It requires solid height jumping. Like you really need to maintain your height very well to get this skip. Otherwise, you won't be able to jump high enough to land on these fist things. In general, it usually pays to delay your jumps a little bit more. So now you're up here. That was unfortunate. Kind of just jump at this fist until you either get stuck in it or you get on top of it. And now you want to jump from here. I kind of push myself into this gear so that I don't have to worry about falling. And then you're able to jump down over into the hare's area. So a bit of an easier route. Whoops, I didn't realize that invisible wall was so high. That's my bad. A bit of an easier route would be getting past this third fist and then jumping around this wall, land over here. There's a little bit of a area where the wall or the floor extends out past this wall, and then you can jump from there to here. And now you skipped that entire side, but this thing isn't moving. Now you need to find a way around here. You're gonna go around to the left. You don't necessarily need a glitch jump, but it does help. Even if you die there, as long as you get close, it's fine. Be careful here, because these fists still have active kill planes, and you'll see it if you hit it from the side. If you hit it from the front for whatever reason, you're generally fine. You can jump around this fist up to here, then up to here, and as long be careful again about that one. If you touch that one on any side, it'll kill you. So make sure you get well below it, and then you got this fight. Take out the fly hives as fast as possible, as long as you don't miss an opportunity to deflect a fireball thing from the menacing ruin. So now I'll take care of that. Alright. Now you can clear out the Insidious Ruin. I like to clear out the Insidious Ruins before I move on to the Menacing Ruins in general. Just makes things a little easier. Not have a bunch of small guys getting in your way. Alright. And then from there, shoot that thing. Lever. There you go. Done with that fight. Here you can pretty much just mash dash through this area. You shouldn't fall. Instead of going underneath there, that's really slow, go ahead and jump on this box and then jump up to here. And then you can jump from there over to here. Alright, so this next area is another area with two routes. One of them is very difficult. The other one is relatively easy. So again, I'll show the difficult route first. Here's the way I line it up. I put Alice about on a quarter of the way on this square on the ground. I put her a quarter from the right side, roughly. Maybe a little bit more, maybe like a third. Yeah, that looks about right. Like a third of the way from the right side. And then in the background, there's this building thing. I'll try and circle it as best as I can. Ah, that was bad. But yeah, you get the idea. There's this building thing. It has the lights, or windows it looks like. I line Alice's head up with the left window. Cover up both the smaller top bit and the slightly bigger bottom bit with her head. And then I move straight to the left until about half of her head, maybe a little less than half of her head, is over the big metal grate thing. And what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and climb that wall just by jumping at it. So hopefully this goes right on the first try, but it's not super easy. Nope, not quite. This trick is fairly difficult. I still have some issues with it on occasion. But as long as you're careful, usually not too bad. Alright, there we go. Got it. Okay. Now, I'm able to just climb this wall all the way to the top. And once I get to the top, I jump to the left. And you want to get up on top of here. Now, if you fall, it's not like if you fall into here, it's not a huge deal. I'll show what you do there in a second. But basically, you're gonna land over here, and then you'll jump forward and hit a death plane. I'll show that in a second once I show what happens if you fall. So if you hit that area and you fall down, not a huge deal at all. You can do the exact same trick. All you have to do is just keep on going forward. And then you go down here. Hit that death plane. And then now you're at the end of the level. The end of the level is right there. If I go that way at all, it'll trigger the end. Instead, I'm going to show a much easier route for this area. Again, if you are doing this route, it requires a lot of combat, so if you haven't already, make sure you upgrade your Vorpal Blade.
These cockpits will be our next our road into assemblage.
Just kind of kill enemies as they spawn in this area. There's 3 in this first group, and then 2 in the second group, and then 5 in the third group. I use a clockwork bomb there to kind of distract the menacing ruin while I deal with as many of the insidious ruins as I can. It also actually seems to make him throw something earlier. I don't know why, but it usually throws something for... Ah, god dang it. The insidious ruin got in the way, so he didn't throw it. That can happen. Now I'm gonna go ahead and drop a clockwork bomb there for him to deal with. Let's see. Throw again. And now I'm gonna go ahead and just hit him. Alright. Now the cutscene always puts you in the same place, so wherever you kill that menacing ruin, just try and collect all of the teeth from him. And now, in this room, that's unfortunate, it looks like you can't see it. There's a really big cutscene trigger. So I'm going to try and avoid that as best as I can, and the way you do that is you stay above it, like pretty close to the ceiling and off to the right of the room, and try and avoid hitting the ground. Hit that mushroom, and now what you're going to do is line Alice up with that girder, and then just walk straight forward, and then when she falls, wait for about half a second, and then twirl forward. To land on this door frame. I screwed it up. I haven't actually done this strat in a while. And then, once you do, once you get Alice there, all you have to do is jump up and move to the left a little bit, and there's this solid part you can stand on. And from here, you can get above this thing, take it over to here, and jump down here. And it's the exact same death plane I hit earlier with the other skip. All you gotta do is walk backwards to get to the end. And that is chapter 1. So, thank you everyone who watched. I look forward to seeing new runners in the future. I think this is a very good speedrun, and I would recommend everyone, if you're interested at all, give it a try. If you have any questions, go ahead and message me on Twitch, or leave a comment on the video, and I will be happy to answer any questions.
Do you think you're doing?
So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.